This is wave 1 of Mezco's 5-point Batman 89 line. We're going to do a quick unboxing, just show what the figures can do, and there'll be a full written review in the description below. Starting with Batman, you can see it's actually a really nice face sculpt, considering how tiny it is. I mean, just to get an official measurement, he is just a little shy of 3¾ inches tall. So, for a quick size comparison, just to show you with a vintage Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's just about the same dimensions, roughly. There's some really nice sculpted detail on the face. The sort of contours of the cowl are in there, and the ears are, maybe there's a tiny millimetre of unevenness there, but you know, who's going to notice at this scale? And the Bat logo on his chest is nicely painted. He's got the golden belt, the musculature, and the cape is fixed because it's soft plastic, so it's folded over, but there is some give. There's a bit of that armour detail on the back, but not much. Could you say there's a likeness for Michael Keaton? Well, I mean, it looks like a person's face and it looks like the cowl, so that's Batman really. You can't really argue with that. Included with Batman is Batarang, which is absolutely tiny, but quite sharp at either end, so be careful with that. And his grappling hook, which has the cable firing out in a fixed pose. This doesn't remove, this is all one sculpt. A nice little sort of gold hook or grapple at the end, which fits into either hand. It just slips in pretty simply, and it holds quite well. The grappling hook is a bit tricky to get into the hands because of the bigger handle, but again, just goes into either hand and holds in just fine. There's no worry about losing it there. And a pair of bent arms. I'm guessing either to replicate that sort of bent arm pose that Toy Biz had when their original toy, or to make it easier to get them into the Batmobile. To replace the arms, you just work them off, try and get the grip as close to the joint as you can so as not to stress it. Surprisingly, not as stiff as the animated Batman, so that's a turn up. We'll just get that in. Okay, I guess it's not made for going into the Batmobile because the other arm is at an angle right out, but it's kind of like a, I guess it's like a, if you turn the head, there's like a fighting stance, sort of. But yeah, if you couldn't guess by the term 5 points, it's because they have 5 points of articulation, so the head fully turns, and the arms go up and down. Obviously you're hindered by the cape, and both the legs go up. But of course we need to see, how does he fit in the Batmobile? So this is the Mezco 5 points Batmobile that we just recently looked at. So obviously for this one, it's going to have the straight arms because the bent ones will clearly not give enough clearance, because you can see there's not much. And as says in the instructions, you want to get it into a seated position and bend the cape before he goes in as best I can. I mean, there's just so little space to get it in, and this is my first attempt, so, and it's already just, let me just try and get, no, that's just, okay, so you don't want to have the arms, I'm going to have the arms a little bit more down, because there's no room. And see, because the cape is a soft plastic, but it sort of naturally wants to spring back into place, as they tend to, and it's pushing the figure out. So my concern is if you leave it in that position with enough time, it will just sort of be all bent forward. Is it? Oh, it really, Okay, let's try again. Let's try and really get it. There's so little. Oh, that sounded positive. Okay, so I think you have to really want to push it down a bit, and that gives you just enough clearance to get the ears just past this little hood bit. Just past, and even then I'm thinking, is it pushing down? And then you can. Oh, that is such an awkward fit. But he's in there. But I really personally just don't like that at all. That just to get him out, and you can hear things clicking and moving around, and thought maybe it took a chunk out of that cape. Didn't, but yeah, probably better just like a sort of a pose like that when he's standing next to it. Next is the Joker, who is very much done that in his sort of atypical attire from the movie, with his long coat at the back, and the tails are flexible. So, is it a resemblance of Jack Nicholson? It's a resemblance for someone cosplaying as Jack Nicholson. You know, I mean, it is that Joker, but you can kind of see even at this scale, it's not really him. But the detail is very nice. I mean, all the makeup is correct, and you can see they've even painted the teeth in a slightly off-white, in contrast to the white skin. And he's wearing his hat, that's part of the sculpt. And also a note on the nice shaded detail on his posy there. He's got gold buttons throughout, and the pattern on the trousers is sculpted in, so you can actually feel the pinstripes. So for accessories, he comes with one alternate arm, just slightly bent here and with a gripping hand. That could only be for his little megaphone from the scene in which he releases all the balloons. It's done in a nice orange, but there's a little speck of white paint on it, and that just fits into that hand moderately easily. And you get his cane, which is simple enough. There's only a tiny bit of warpage, nothing to get angry about. With a little bit of gold paint at the top and just a little band across, and that just holds in quite securely in the other hand. And again, neither of those are falling out anytime soon, so that's fine. And of course, he has the alternate head with the hat off. And again, you can see this. It's just not really Jack Nicholson at all, is it? It kind of actually looks like the original Toy Biz toy, but with more movie accurate colouring. Like you can see, the green hair is not it's not like an overt like neon green almost. It's like a slightly more muted green. And lastly is the old peg warmer, Bob the Goon. Well, technically he's just the Joker Goon, but it's clearly Bob the Goon by that terrible haircut he has and his sunglasses. But nevertheless, the same standard of sculpting here. You can see like the pockets on his jacket, all the folds, and the little lapels there, and nice paint app of that Joker logo, although it is a bit crooked. You can see the pack of cards on the sleeve, although there is a bit of white paint, I think it is, or it's a scratch, I'm not sure. I think it's white paint. And the paint detail on the belt buckle, and the little flesh, the little skin exposed in that gap in his fingerless gloves. For accessories, he comes with that rubbish camera that they had to put in because I guess Sony sponsored them. Was it a Sony camera? I don't know. I'll do the research by the time I write the review. This is quite tricky to get in the hands because the clasp is too tight, but it's a softer plastic, so you can just slightly prise it open, and then you put the handle in at that angle because it fits in easier, and then you can turn it, but holds in just fine. And he comes with that dagger. he was armed with in that scene where him and the other goons have a fight with Batman in that alleyway just after the he rescues Vicky Vale in the art gallery. But what's interesting is, because it's called the Joker goon and not specifically Bob, is that you have actually a different display option. There's a different goon entirely. Because not only does he come with 2 alternate arms, slightly bent at the elbow, but an entirely different head. And that's the Kung Fu goon from the same scene where they had that big fight in the alleyway. And on top of that, you get his swords for that scene where he fights Batman. So I guess the idea is that they want you to buy 2 goon figures, so you could have both Bob and Mr. Beret. And for the price they cost, I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Because, you know, it's a bit tricky buying these as single figures. I mean, the only places I ever saw them for pre-order was you have to buy the whole line in one go. So if I see it separate, then yeah, okay, maybe. And all 3 figures come with these little stands. Thankfully these are back to being just the regular coloured plastic and not the clear plastic from the animated figures that, well, literally snapped off in the unboxing video. You can see that. Also, oddly enough, if you can see that, they're numbered, like it's 1 for Batman, 2 for the Joker, and 3 for the Goon. So I don't know if that means that the pegs on these are ever so slightly different and that they're not interchangeable with each other. I'm not sure of that. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to break another peg again. But that is the Mezco Batman 89 5 points line. Full written review coming soon.